In a time when many African nations are struggling to feed their people, Burkina Faso is writing a new story, one of hope, resilience, and revolution. This is not just a story about tractors and seeds. It is a story about reclaiming dignity, restoring self-reliance, and breaking the chains of dependency. At the helm of this revolution is a young soldier-turned-statesman, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso is not just fighting terrorism or political instability, it's waging a war against hunger, and it's winning. In May 2025, Captain Ibrahim Traoré unveiled one of the most ambitious agricultural transformations in West Africa, an initiative worth 104 billion CFA francs, or $179 million. This wasn't just a government project, it was a lifeline. Targeted for the 2025 to 2026 farming season, the program was designed to achieve two critical goals: food sovereignty and economic independence. In simple terms, to make sure that Burkina Faso could feed itself and do so without relying on foreign aid. This initiative is more than seeds and soil. It's part of a larger national roadmap called the Agro-pastoral and Fisheries Offensive 2023 to 2025, complemented by the Presidential Initiative for Agricultural Production. Together, these policies signal that Burkina Faso is serious about agriculture. Let's talk numbers. In the city of Bobo-Dioulasso, often called the breadbasket of Burkina Faso, the government rolled out an impressive arsenal of agricultural equipment: 608 tractors, 1,033 motorcycles, 485 motor pumps, 17 transport trucks, 4 massive combine harvesters, and thousands of tons of seeds, fertilizers, and veterinary drugs. Why does this matter? Because for years, smallholder farmers in Burkina Faso have toiled with primitive tools, battling droughts, pests, and poor yields. With these machines and resources, that narrative is changing. The impact? A farmer who once used a hoe and harvested 1 ton of maize in a season can now harvest 3 or 4. This isn't charity, it's empowerment. Burkina Faso is a Sahelian country. That means harsh weather, little rain, and long dry spells. But under Traoré's initiative, over 2,000 hectares of land have been irrigated. For farmers, water is everything. With reliable irrigation, growing becomes less of a gamble. And it's not just about cash crops. The initiative is focused on staple foods like tomato, millet, and rice. These are the heart of Burkinabe meals, and boosting their production means fewer imports and more stability. Plus, tons of seeds, fertilizers, and veterinary drugs. This isn't just charity, it's strategy. Part of the Agro-pastoral and Fisheries Offensive 2023 to 2025 and the Presidential Initiative for Agricultural Production. This movement covers more than 2,000 hectares of irrigated land, offering free and subsidized support for farmers in need. Farmers once worked with their hands and hope now they have tractors and a future. The results? In 2024 alone, this initiative boosted production of tomatoes, millet, and rice across rural communities. But for Traoré, this is just the beginning. His mission is crystal clear: food sovereignty, economic independence, and the end of neocolonial dependency. This is more than policy. It's a paradigm shift. A leader arming his people not with bullets, but with the power to feed themselves. Empowerment, sovereignty, dignity. Captainly, Ibrahim Traoré isn't just changing Burkina Faso's farms. He's planting seeds of freedom across an entire nation. One of the most impressive elements of this initiative is equity. Unlike past programs that only favored wealthy landowners, Traoré's administration is focused on vulnerable farmers, those who need the most help. Services are being provided free or heavily subsidized, from veterinary support for livestock herders to fertilizer for women farmers growing food for their communities. By redistributing resources fairly, this government is rewriting the rules of rural development, and it's working. Why is this important? Because food insecurity fuels instability. In many parts of Africa, food shortages have led to riots, crime, and even conflict. When a nation can't feed itself, it becomes a pawn in global politics, at the mercy of international donors and exploitative trade deals. Captain Ibrahim Traoré understands this. By investing in agriculture, he's not just planting crops, he's planting peace. He's investing in jobs. He's nurturing dignity, because no people should have to beg for food in a land that can grow it. Make no mistake, this isn't just about food. This is about freedom. For decades, Burkina Faso, like many African nations, was dependent on international organizations for food aid and agricultural loans. These came with strings, economic conditions, foreign consultants, and rising debt. But Traoré's model is different. He is reclaiming sovereignty, not just over land, but over destiny. This movement is an act of resistance against neocolonialism, against economic systems designed to keep Africa weak. In doing so, he's inspiring a new generation. Young Burkinabés who once dreamed of migrating are now seeing hope right in their own fields. This isn't a one-time campaign. This is a legacy in the making. By 2026, Burkina Faso aims to become a regional leader in agricultural exports, providing food security not just for itself, but for its neighbors. And with continued support, the ripple effect will be massive. Lower food prices, job creation, rural development, improved nutrition, reduced migration. Captain Ibrahim Traoré is sowing seeds today that generations will harvest tomorrow. In a world that often underestimates Africa, Burkina Faso is standing tall, with courage, with vision, with tractors, seeds, and sweat. Because when a people rise to feed themselves, no force on earth can stop them. And in the fields of Bobo-Dioulasso, under the sun of 2025, a revolution is blooming. If you believe Africa deserves to rise, on her own terms, like, share, subscribe.